On the news at 1, President Buhari engages management of Code of Conduct Tribunal, indicates desire to see that the battle against graft is sustained by successive governments. FCTA calls for urgent action by stakeholders to enhance fish production in the territory as the world commemorates International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Agriculture. And benefits of sleep in focus as the world marks World Sleep Day. A very good afternoon to you and welcome to NTA Channel 5 News at 1, the Unity Station. I am Aisha Oba Ali. President Muhammadu Buhari has indicated his desire to see that the foundation laid by his administration in the battle graft is sustained by successive governments in the country, as corruption remains an existential threat to national development. This was while playing host to the management of the Code of Conduct Tribunal led by the chairman, Danladi Yakubu Umar. State House correspondent Adam Musombo has the report.
The Code of Conduct Tribunal President Muhammadu Buhari maintained is an important tool in the nation's fight against corruption. He said such frontline agencies in the trenches are relied upon to demonstrate that the government means what it says and remains committed towards eliminating all forms of corruption.
We recognize the sacrifices being made by this tribunal and similar agencies in the midst of very challenging economic and revenue shortages. It is our hope that the foundation which has been laid by this administration will be carried forward and continued as the issue of corruption remains an existential threat to all nations.
The federal government, he explained, will not shirk its responsibility of seeking innovative and new models of financing such important agencies to enable them discharge their mandates effectively and efficiently.
I would direct the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, in conjunction with the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, to jointly explore alternative sources and framework for getting the much needed funding you require to continue your very important work.
Your Excellency, in response to the growing need for the reform and advancement of the Code of Conduct Bureau and indeed the Tribunal, my office has worked on 2 bills transmitted by the President of the National Assembly out of desire to perhaps enhance the quality of service delivery and speedy determination of cases by the CCT across the state.
The chairman Code of Conduct Tribunal, Danladi Umar, commended the Buhari administration for what he called the salutary impact it has made in the areas of infrastructural development, agriculture.
Similarly, President Muhammadu Buhari says for any economy to grow and create jobs, there must be vibrant and successful small and medium enterprise sector. And this, he said, informed his decision to recently sign into law the Business Facilitation Bill. The president stated this while granting audience to the Governing Council and members of the Institute of Directors of Nigeria. Says how correspondent Adam Sambo again reports.
Described as the broad framework in respect of the direction the country wants to go, Nigeria Agenda 2050 looks at the macroeconomic and sectoral outlook as well as associated employment and poverty implications from 2021 to 2050. Consequently, Nigeria is benchmarked amongst other upper middle income countries that have already achieved some level of economic and social development.
The 2050 agenda highlights the roadmap for accelerated, sustained, and broad-based growth, and also provides broad frameworks and approaches for reducing unemployment, poverty, inequality, and human deprivation.
Agenda 2050 will, amongst others, create a stable and predictable macroeconomic environment, establish a solid foundation for a concentric, diversified private sector-led economy, and support opportunities for Nigerians to realize their full potentials.
The broad objectives are to invest in critical fiscal, financial, digital, and innovation infrastructure. 4, to build a solid framework and heighten capacities to strengthen security and ensure good governance.
The Council approved construction of 2 by 60 MVA 132 33 kV substations at Nnewi and 2 by 132 kV line bay extension at Onitsha, substations for the Transmission Company of Nigeria.
3.7 million euros and the Naira component of 1.1 billion Naira have been approved for the completion of the project, which started since 2006 and neglected due to lack of budgetary provision.
And away from the presidency, the Federal Capital Territory Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board says it will not hesitate to sanction intending pilgrims who deliberately miss their flight schedules during air leave for this year's Hajj operations. The director of the board, Mala Abubakar Adamu Ifuti, disclosed this at a meeting with Islamic scholars mobilized to conduct the education and orientation exercise for the 2023 intending pilgrims from FCT. Among the new measures the board is introducing is each intending pilgrim will be given a chance to select the flight intend to travel to Saudi Arabia, and failure to adhere to such guidelines of flight schedule, the pilgrim will be sanctioned in line with international travel standards. Malan Ivuti stated that considering the status of FCT, the board will continue and even improve on its policy of educating the intending pilgrims on how to perform the religious obligation for them to attain an acceptable Hajj and get value for their money. He added that the FCT administration was connected to ensure that this year's Hajj exercise recorded the best ever success for the benefit of the pilgrims. Meanwhile, the Federal Capital Territory Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat has reiterated its determination to transform the fisheries research subsector into one that can create jobs for the teeming youth so that they can earn income to improve their social economic well-being. Mandate Secretary FCT Agri Secretariat Abubakar Ibrahim stated this at the opening of a symposium organized in commemoration of the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Agriculture. Ifeanyi Izumba has the details.
The theme of the event, Building Global Safety Net for Small-Scale Artisanal Fisheries and Agriculture, is apt considering that most fish farmers in FCT still operate on a small scale, calling for urgent actions by stakeholders to re-strategize and adapt new approaches that will help to enhance fish production. In a message from the Mandate Secretary Abubakar Ibrahim, he stressed that the symposium will come up with a preferred solution to numerous constraints.
On issues such as capacity building for the farmers, access to affordable fishery inputs, access to microcredit facilities, and access to markets. I must, however, commend our fish farmers for this resilience in the face of their challenges. Our fishery sector has been able to place the country on the global map, enjoying #1 spot as the largest producer of catfish species.
Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture, FCT Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat, Ifeoma Okeke, outlined the contributions of small-scale artisanal fisheries.
We have assembled experts in the areas of interest to talk to us on processing for exports, fish farming as a business, facilities available in our financial institutions, and how to access them, prospects and challenges in the industry. Successful farmers in the industry will also be sharing their success stories with us.
The FCT administration says it has the best interest of residents at heart and stressed that as a society guided by law, there is need to protect the waters from practices that may be harmful to both marine and human life. Ifeanyi Izumba, NT News.
Now let's take a look at some health stories. The FCT Health Insurance Scheme has engaged the media on modalities to get more people from the informal sector enrolled into the insurance scheme. Hakimat Ali was there for NTA News.
Health insurance is a global phenomenon which ensures access to health care irrespective of financial status, reducing the burden of out-of-pocket payment for medical treatment. In the nation's capital, FCT Health Insurance Scheme is saddled with this responsibility.
You don't know when the health challenge will come up, and then you just wake up and they say your son is on admission, go and look for 250,000. People will go and sell their properties, people will be out of job, some people will be pushed into extreme poverty. So because we identified this in FCT, we are taking a lot of steps to ensure that all residents of FCT, all, nobody is being left behind. As I speak with you, all the staff of FCT administration are on this scheme. All. The area council staff, they are on this scheme. And we are already engaging the market women, the traders, the Okada rider, most of this informal sector.
This is a roundtable engagement with representatives from media organizations seeking collaboration to raise awareness that would translate to increased coverage of FCT residents under the FCT Health Insurance Scheme.
But it is now mandatory, and people with low-income people can also access it. But they need to know. We need to set that information out there. And who best to do it? The media. But media can only do it if media understands also and have knowledge of what the national health insurance can achieve. It has been done in other countries. It has worked. It will work in Nigeria. But we need to get the information out there. And
Dr. Abubakar Tafida, the Secretary, FCT Health and Human Service Secretariat, represented at the engagement by Dr. Ibrahim Abubakar, noted that progress is being made in providing health care.
And you cannot begin to think of universal health coverage without health insurance. I know my brother has done so much for FCT. I remember 2-3 years ago, we developed a strategic plan for FCT Health Insurance Scheme and other documents for us to move on and make sure we achieve more on universal health coverage in the FCT.
The meeting provided participants relevant information, which includes how they can benefit from the insurance scheme. In Abuja, Hakimat Ali, NTA News.
Sleep is a behavior that is fundamental to physical, mental, and social well-being, which should not be taken for granted. Hakimat Ali reports that this is the general advocacy by the World Sleep Society in observance of the World Sleep Day 2023.
Just like eating right and exercising, sleep is essential for good health. Health experts have linked the burden of unhealthy sleep habits as harmful to human health. This is part of reasons a day has been set aside as World Sleep Day. Dr. Ike Irikefa, a family physician, highlights the significance of the day.
Celebrating this World Sleep Day, I would like to speak of some benefits of a good and healthy sleep. A good and healthy sleep for an adult is at least 8 hours sleep. For children, infants can have sleep up to 12 to 17 hours in a day, including even intermediate naps. For young children, it can be even up to 12 to 14 hours. So good sleep is important for healthy living. It's important to know that good sleep will lead to maintain your normal weight or to even help you to reduce your weight. It can help to improve concentration and productivity. If I have not slept well last night, I wouldn't be able to come to work today and concentrate with my patients. A good sleep helps to maximize athletic performance.
He speaks further on the benefits of sleep, giving tips towards having a healthy sleep.
You must try to make sure your exercise is not in the night. Exercise should be in the morning. And you must try to do your activities mainly in the day. Some people have habit of putting in the bedroom. The bedroom should be a dark and quiet place. If you put TV and you make a situation where you could be watching film it's likely you will not have enough sleep.
World Sleep Day provides opportunity for the World Sleep Society to enhance better understanding and raise awareness, as well as encourage actions regarding global sleep health. In Abuja, Hakimat Aliu, NTA News.
Still talking about the importance of sleep, adequate amount of sleep, experts say, promotes good health in many ways, even as it is assumed the body's best and natural preventive medicine. Hakimat Aliu in this special report examines the role of sleep in the life of an individual.
Medically, sleep is said to be essential to every individual with lots of benefits attached. I'm out here to find out how people take sleep.
I'm Bashir Gono.
Okay.
To find it difficult for me to sleep. That is the challenge that we have.
But is sleep important? Do you take your sleep very important?
You can't sleep without. If you sleep, how can you manage to take care of your family?
No, during the day, I don't sleep, but at night I take my sleep serious. So I sleep at when due and I wake up at my time.
To me, it's very vital. I make sure that I have at least 8 hours sleep in a day. Because if I don't have enough sleep in a day, I won't be able to talk and concentrate with my patients very well.
Sleep is a sedentary state of mind, often characterized by change in the state of consciousness. Dr. Chikodinaka Ezeokeke of the Department of Internal Medicine, Wuse District Hospital, says sleep is crucial to the human body for optimal functioning.
It is essential to the survival of every individual because for you to have strong cardiovascular health, you need to sleep well. Is dizziness, your heart to beat so fast within the day, you have a lot of palpitation. Now for the psychological function, mental health, you need a lot of sleep, because it's expected that once you sleep well, your brain will be able to function for the rest part of the day. If you don't sleep well, you predispose your heart to heart diseases like the myocardial infarction, which we call cardiac arrest. You have a lot of heart failure and a lot of heart diseases, coronary artery diseases, and so much more.
Despite the benefits of sleep, Dr. Chikodinaka reiterates the need for it to be in moderation. In Abuja, Hakimat.
You're watching NTA Channel 5 News at 1 p.m. and still to come on the news. Correspondent beams searchlight on fuel situation in the face of availability of cash against the use of POS. These and more in a moment. Please stay.
The immediate cause of the latest queues in Abuja remains unknown.
Conceived with the intent to ease the flow of traffic in the nation's capital.
Whichever way it turns out, either to consolidate on the existing mandate or institute a new dispensation.
Located within the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC. How much do people know about ADR?
Are charting a path to having more youth participate in governance, in addition to building young entrepreneurs.
Residents of the Federal Capital Territory are calling on the federal government to, as a matter of urgency, look into the situation.
You have to strike a balance to have a future that you don't have to regret.
Like experts say, what kills really is fear.
In Abuja,
NTA News.
Thanks for being there. Now, moving on, Frama Panye is standing by for an update on fuel situation in the nation's capital.
We are here at one of the filling stations in the city center, and behind me you can still see queues at the filling stations. That means there's still lack or suggest there's still scarcity of the product. Now, going in to talk to some motorists, we'll be finding out, or to find out, the reason for these queues that we still see.
It started from behind, near Ritz Continental Hotel. And it's been oddly.
The information gathered is that the POS machine that is they are using for transaction, at some point the network will be faulty.
The POS queue is what we are experiencing now, but I think we have
the fuel shortage or supply is a bit okay.
It's better, unlike before. There's an improvement. At least now you can, 5-10 minutes, you'll be able to buy fuel.
These queues seen at the filling station, motorists say, is not as a result of the unavailability of the product or scarcity of the product. It's as a result of the means or mode of payment. Despite the fact the central bank has agreed and said that the old notes are still legal tender until the end of the year, people are still using the point-of-sale machine as a mode of payment, and network has seemed to cause of delay of payment, and that is why we still see queues at filling stations. In Abuja, Frama Panyi, NTA News.
Thank you, Frama. We now join the business desk for business news. The consumption of premium motor spirit has risen to about 80 million litres daily, pushing up subsidy on the commodity of Nigeria. Godwin Emefiele has urged the governors of central banks and other African financial sector regulators to be more vigilant in their regulatory and supervisory rules to forestall any run on banks in their respective jurisdictions. A statement from the CBN said Emefiele of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank in the United States of America by putting in place regulations that will prevent any run on banks in their countries. While sharing Nigerians' experience in regulating banks, he noted that the threat posed on the financial system necessitated the release of the new guidelines and regulations to tackle potential infringements and in the process protect depositors' funds as well as promote greater transparency in the sector. In the wake of failing electronic transactions, the Nigerian Communications Commission has stated that the country's telecommunication networks can absorb the surge in the demand for cashless transactions that have been recorded since late 2022. The Executive Vice Chairman, NCC, Professor Omar Dambata, disclosed this during an event to commemorate the 2023 World Consumer Rights Day in Abuja on Wednesday. He said by the time cashless banking fully took off in the late 2022, the connectivity platforms on which electronic transactions ride have become robust to the extent of being able to absorb the surge in demand for cashless transactions. He further stated that the Commission has continued to implement policy that ensured improved access to broadband connectivity and has, through its Computer Security Incident Response Team, constantly alerted consumers to cyber threats and that could have led to the compromise of their financial profile through the execution of malicious code by threat actors. The consumption of premium motor spirits has risen to about 80 million litres daily, pushing up subsidy on the commodity to an estimated 484 billion naira monthly, going by latest figures from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. An analysis of PMS weekly evacuation dispatch data from March 4th to 10th, 2020.
30,000.
At the popular UTC market at Area 10, most of the traders are beginning to accept the old note as against what was obtainable last week.
They told us to start collecting the old money now, that we can now collect it. That's why I started collecting.
Because I don't hear say Buhari say more collect old note. That's why they collect it.
Most of the ATM points we visited here at Area 3, residents are happy that the old Naira note continues to be a legal tender till 31st of December 2023. But the complaint is, while commercial drivers are beginning to accept this old Naira note, some traders in the market are making life difficult for residents by refusing to collect these old notes. That's much we can take on business news. The news continues shortly. Thanks for watching. It's time to join the sports desk for Sports Brief.
Ahead of 2023 AFCON race, head coach of the Nigeria Super Eagles senior national team, Jose Pesero, has called on players to camp as preparations to this effect take full course. Some of the invited players to include captain of the team, Ahmed Musa, Veteran in from Napoli Victor James Osimhen, Atalanta's Lukman Ademola and 20 others are expected to start arriving the team camp in Abuja on Sunday, 19th March, as they solidify preparations ahead of clash against Guinea-Bissau, Friday 24th March at the Moshood Abilo National Stadium, 5 p.m. Nigerian time, with a return leg on Monday 27th at the Estadio Setembro in Bissau. Elsewhere, the 12th Abuja Invitational Volleyball Tournament saw Offa Volleyball Club emerge winners over their Games Village counterparts, thrashing them 3-0 to lift the trophy Thursday night. Similarly, the female category played same day saw Scorpion Spikers defeat Koa Spikers 3-1. The tournament had in participation 50 teams, male and female. As part of the organizers' effort to encourage participating teams, a sum total of 200,000 to be given to male teams and 160,000 naira to 25 female teams as participation fee. And the UEFA Europa League last 16 matches had lots of drama as English Premier League table toppers Arsenal FC shockingly get axed by Portugal giant Sporting Lisbon. 5-3 victory on penalties at the Emirates Stadium. The road to Budapest gets slimmer, plus others. With Sports Brief, Gideon Johanna, NTA News.
And before we go, a recap of the major stories. President Buhari has engaged management of Code of Conduct Tribunal with a desire to see that the battle against graft is sustained by successive government. You also heard that FCT Agriculture and Rural Development Secretariat has called for urgent action by stakeholders to enhance fish production in the territory. And thanks for watching the news at 1. We'll be back by 7 p.m. I am Aisha Uba Ali. Good afternoon.